welcome back to my Crochet for Lessons channel. Today we are going to learn how to do the Alpine Stitch. What you need is a crochet hook. I am using a 4mm crochet hook, some worsted weight yarn, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle for weaving in all your ends. Once you've got all of these materials, let's head over to the table and get started. See you soon! So the Alpine Stitch is going to start with a slip knot. And to create a slip knot, just grab your yarn, create a little loop just like that, and pull through. And that is how I generally make my slip knots, but I know there are a lot of ways of creating a slip knot. So you can just go on YouTube and look and see how to create different slip knots and how to just do it in several different ways. So make sure that once your yarn is on your hook, that you can slide it comfortably back and forth just like this. And you don't want it to be so tight that it is hard to move it forward. So what I generally like to do whenever I'm starting a project or a new stitch is that I like to grab the tail and hold it while I am creating my chains. And for this stitch, you want to create a number of even chains. So that can be 10 or 12 or 16 or even 20. So for this one, I am just going to start chaining an even amount. So once you've got your even amount of chains, I will meet you back and we can start row 1 of the Alpine Stitch. For this little sample, I just did 18 chains. And before you start a new row, you want to go back and double check the amount of chains that you have. And then once you've done that, you want to yarn over and chain 1. And that will count as our turning chain. So for this first row, we are just going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So we are going to skip this chain and work into the second chain right here. So just go ahead and grab your yarn, go into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. See, that was pretty simple. So we are just going to do that all the way down the row. And at the end of your row, you should have a total of 18 chains, or however many that you chained at the beginning, minus 1. Because you're using that turning chain, that last chain as a turning chain. So see you guys in a little bit. Just take your time working down this first row because the first row can always be a little difficult to work through. And it's also because you are holding a little bit amount of fabric. So it can take some time adjusting your hold. The end of row 1 should look something like this. And if your first row is curling at the end, kind of like that, that's okay, because sometimes you can crochet a little bit tightly, so that's why your little single crochets will curl. But I think it's a natural curl too, so there's nothing to be worried about right then. So let's go ahead and yarn over, and we are going to chain 2 for our first double crochet of the round. Now, normally when we are crocheting double crochets, they will tell you in written patterns to chain 3, but I like to chain 2 because that just lessens the amount of space that is between the first real double crochet of the row and the turning chain that you see here. So go ahead and flip your work, and you are going to work your first real double crochet into the second stitch. And that is because we are counting this chain 2 as our first double crochet of the round. And we are going to work a double crochet into each stitch all the way around until we reach the end of the row, and by that time we should still have a total of 18, or how many chains that you did at the very beginning. So for me, that would be a total of 18 chains. I'm sorry, not chains, 18 double crochets, including that turning chain, because we are counting it as a real double crochet. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Just take your time working these double crochets, and I will see you in a couple minutes. Alrighty, so I am at the end of my row and I have one single crochet left. So I am just going to finish that off with a regular double crochet. Just slip your hook in and finish it off. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work. So into each stitch all the way down, we are just going to single crochet into the top of those double crochets. So go ahead and grab your hook, insert it into that very first double crochet, and create your single crochet. And we are working into that first double crochet of the round, because when you are working your single crochets, you always work into the top of that first stitch. And then at the end of the row, we are just going to work into the top of the chain 2 that we did for the second row. Now finish off row 3. And these first 3 rows are just a setup row. And in this row 4 where we will really begin the Alpine Stitch. So just take your time working those single crochets all the way across the top of that double crochet row. Now I'll see you guys in a little bit. Here we are at the end of row 3, and we want to make sure that we are working into the top of the chain 2 that you can see right here. So I like to just go through the middle of that stitch, and it picks up another stitch to make it sturdier for a finishing touch. So there we go. That will bring you up to a total of 18 stitches. 18 stitches for me, and whatever number of stitches that you have for your starting chain. So this is what your little fabric should be looking like right now. And we are going to chain 2, turn our work, and start the Alpine Stitch. So go ahead and grab your hook, chain 2, we're going to turn our work, and we are going to start working the Alpine Stitch. So in order to create it, we are just going to skip this first stitch right here. We are going to yarn over and work into this post right here, and we are going to do a front post. So grab your hook, go into this stitch to where your hook is underneath this post right here, and we are skipping the single crochets that we just created for row 3. We're going to yarn over and carefully draw up a loop. And we want to make sure that we want the stitch to be as tall as our chain 2. So just like that. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. We are going to work our next double crochet right into the stitch right here. So we're just going to yarn over, go into that next stitch, and just do a normal double crochet. Now because we did that, we are going to skip this post and work into the next one. So just yarn over, and we are going to work a front post right here. Just remember, a front post looks like that. We are going to yarn over and draw a loop. Just make sure that your loop is as tall as the other stitches so that it doesn't buckle. We're just going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. For the next one, we are just going to do another normal double crochet. We are just going to repeat this method all the way down the row. And you should still have a total of 18 or how many chains that you created in the beginning. So that aligns up with this. So we're going to yarn over, skip this post, and work into this next one. So just continue working down your row, doing the front post in a double, and I'll meet you at the end of row 4. At the end of row 4, you should still have 2 stitches left. And for this last row, because we did the Alpine Stitch, I am just going to yarn over and complete the last stitch right here as a normal double crochet. And we are going to finish the row off by yarning over and creating another double crochet into the top of that chain 2, or that single crochet. So there we go. And that just makes it nice and even. So there's your first row of the Alpine Stitch, and as you can already see, it is starting to form little trees all the way across the row. To continue on, we are just going to yarn over and chain 1, turn our work, and for this 5th row, we are just going to single crochet all the way across. So once you've single crocheted all the way across, I'll meet you back and start row 6. Just work carefully into the top of those double crochets. At the end of row 5, go ahead and yarn over and chain 2. We're just going to flip our work, and this time we are going to be doing the opposite of what we did for the previous row before our single crochet. So, because we did the Alpine Stitch right here, we are going to yarn over and do a regular double crochet. We then want to look closely between these 2 stitches right here, which is the 2 Alpine stitches, and then work an Alpine stitch right here with the regular double crochet that we did before. So go ahead and yarn over, do a front post, just like that, and draw a loop. You want to pull that to make sure that it is the same height as your previous double crochet right here. And then you want to yarn over and complete that stitch. And just repeat what you did for row 4. So do a regular double crochet in the next one, and then do a front post double crochet right here. So you want to continue that all the way down for row 6, and you will just be alternating rows 4 through 6 to complete your pattern. At the end of your 6th row, you should have one more regular double crochet to do, and I'm just ignoring this post right here for now. So just grab your hook, go into that post, just like that, and complete your Alpine Stitch. Hold up just like that. And we are going to finish this row off with a regular double crochet right into that single crochet. To continue on, you just want to chain 1 and do another row of single crochets, and then we will just repeat those 3 rows 4 through 6, all over again. And I will just continue until you have a long enough fabric for whatever project that you are making. So there we go. That is the Alpine Stitch, and I hope this has helped clarify just a little bit of this little pretty spring light stitch. And I just really like it because it looks like a little tree. And maybe that's why it's called that, because it looks like a little tree. So there we go. That is how you do the Alpine Stitch.